As we mentioned earlier this week, the Blue Ocean Film Festival is taking place this weekend in St. Petersburg, with over 90 films from 24 countries being screened. And one of those films was done right here in Florida, The Forgotten Coast, a documentary about Florida's critical and fragile waterways. And joining me today is Lindsay Cross, Executive Director of the Florida Wildlife Corridor. Good morning, Lindsay. How are you?
Natalie, thanks so much for having me here.
Well, we're excited to have you here because this is twofold. Not only are we going to talk about a film that is actually people are really raving about right now, but we're also going to talk about your role and how there's such an educational opportunity.
Yes, certainly. So The Forgotten Coast is a documentary which chronicles a 1,000-mile journey through wild Florida. 3 expeditioners set out for 70 days, walking and biking and paddling for 1,000 miles. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
So
and I'll say one of those expeditionists was Carlton Ward, the photographer.
Yes, Carlton Ward Jr. is a conservation photographer right here in the Tampa Bay area. He's the founder of the organization and has been on both of the 2,000-mile expeditions. He and his buddies Mallory Lakes-Dimmitt and Joe Guthrie, a bear biologist, show us the wild places that we still have in Florida and the opportunities that we have to protect them.
You know, I'm curious. This may sound kind of like goofy. I've only lived in Florida for about 3 years now. So where is the Florida Wildlife Corridor?
Well, the Florida Wildlife Corridor is about 17 million acres. It's an entire network of lands and waters that spans the entire state. It starts in the Everglades, goes all the way up to Georgia, and all the way over to the Alabama border. So about 9 million of those acres are already in protection. The rest of those areas we'd like to protect so that wildlife still has ability to move throughout the state. We can continue to have places to recharge our aquifers so that we have clean water to drink, and that we can preserve the cultural heritage and the rural economies that support those areas.
So what does a film about this do for your program and kind of helping raise awareness?
Really what it does is it shows people these amazing places that they may not know exist in Florida. We think of Florida, the beaches and our attractions, our tourist attractions, but there's so much more to Florida. Our springs, we have just these fantastic natural areas that are really unique to Florida, like our springs, the Everglades, saw palmetto meadows, longleaf pine plantations that are really special. They support a lot of wildlife species, and really this film is meant to inspire people to get outside, to experience those places for themselves, and then we hope that with that immersion in nature, they'll take the next step to help protect them.
I was going to say, let's talk about the protection. And one of the things that I found fascinating in getting ready to talk with you was talking about the population growth that Florida could see and why this is so vital. Share with our viewers why this is something that people all need to know about. Doesn't matter where you live, really, in the state.
So there's projections from a nonprofit called the Thousand Friends of Florida that by the year 2070, we'll have 33.7 million people in our state. Right now, we're the 3rd most populous state at about 20 million. So imagine another close to 14 million people. So where do we put those people? And if we want to continue to have iconic wildlife species like the Florida panther, the Florida black bear, the West Indian manatee, we need to protect those places, those habitats that are so vital. And what the corridor is really a statewide vision for how to connect areas that are already protected with private lands that could be protected and conserved.
And as far as if, say, people want to get involved and people want to support or increase their education about this topic, because we're really just dusting the surface here, well, how can people get more information or get involved?
They can visit our website, thefloridawildlifecorridor.org, go to our Facebook page, and we hope that they will come out on Sunday, November 13th at 2:30 p.m. at the Palladium to see the film The Forgotten Coast, which will be part of Blue Ocean Film Festival.
And you know, one of the things I thought was great about the film festival, it's actually being recognized in 2 categories, adventure and cinematography. Usually you don't see those going together, so I think that speaks volumes about the film. Well, thank you so much for coming in today and for all you do. We appreciate it. Best of luck. And we're going to go ahead and send it over to Carly.